Thanksgiving is a time for family, gratitude, and shared memories. But beneath the warmth and laughter, darkness can sometimes creep in, turning joyful celebrations into chilling nightmares. Imagine a family dinner interrupted by a disappearance, a cozy cabin hiding sinister secrets, or a neighbor vanishing without a trace. These aren't just stories, they're real accounts of the unexplainable. In this video, we'll uncover 3 true Thanksgiving horror stories that defy logic and leave behind more questions than answers. Each tale is stranger and scarier than the last, so stay with us till the end. You'll see how even the most cherished holiday can hide shadows waiting to be discovered. Welcome to Cursed Voices, where we unravel the mysteries that keep you up at night. If you're ready for chills and suspense, hit the subscribe button and turn on notifications, because you won't want to miss what's coming next. Let's dive in. Before we talk about the chilling events that unfolded, picture this. A large family gathered around a dining table, the soft hum of laughter and conversation filling the air, plates piled high with turkey and sides, kids running around, and a sense of comfort only a family holiday can bring. The evening was perfect, or so it seemed. Among the cheerful faces was a relative who had been acting they weren't a stranger to the family, but their behavior that evening was unusually reserved, almost distant. They barely spoke, their gaze shifting nervously, as if distracted by something unseen. At first, no one paid much attention. It's easy to brush off odd behavior as stress or fatigue. But as the night wore on, their actions became harder to ignore. During dinner, they began muttering under their breath, their hands shaking slightly as they passed dishes around. A cousin sitting nearby later described hearing phrases like, "It's coming," and "Gwe, I warned them." Confused and uneasy, the family tried to ask what was wrong, but their questions were met with silence. Then, in the middle of the meal, they abruptly stood up and left the table, saying they needed to check on something outside. Minutes turned into hours, and they didn't return. Concern turned into panic as the family went searching. The driveway was empty, their car still parked where it had been earlier. No footprints led away from the house, and their phone was left behind on the counter. The only clue was an open door to the basement, where the family rarely ventured. What the family discovered next left them shaken. Before we talk about the strange events that turned this family's Thanksgiving into a nightmare, imagine the setting. A secluded cabin surrounded by towering trees, its wooden walls glowing warmly under the soft light of a setting sun. For one family, it seemed like the perfect place to escape the noise of the city and enjoy your peaceful holiday together. Laughter echoed through the rooms as they unpacked, ready for a weekend of bonding and relaxing enjoyment. The first night was uneventful, but by the second evening, odd things began to happen. It started small. Faint footsteps on the wooden floor when everyone was accounted for. Lights flickered occasionally, which they brushed off as faulty wiring, but when they heard a door creak open in the dead of night, despite locking everything before bed, unease began to settle in. The next morning, they found strange symbols etched into the frost on the cabin's windows. At first, they thought it was a prank, maybe a local kid playing tricks. But the symbols were intricate, like runes, and none of them had ever seen anything like them before. As they tried to dismiss it, more unsettling things happened. A family member swore they saw a shadowy figure darting through the trees just beyond the cabin, and their youngest child claimed to hear a voice calling their name from the woods. By the third night, the tension was unbearable. While preparing dinner, they found a cryptic message scrawled on the kitchen wall in what looked like ash. "Leave before it's too late." At that point, the family decided they couldn't stay any longer. They packed quickly, abandoning food and belongings, and drove away in silence, their excitement replaced by dread. It wasn't until weeks later that they learned the cabin had a dark history. Before we talk about the chilling mystery that gripped this neighborhood, imagine a cozy Thanksgiving block party. Neighbors gathered on front lawns, tables filled with homemade dishes, and the air filled with roasted turkey. It was the kind of event that brought everyone together, a perfect way to celebrate the holiday. Among the crowd was a well-delighted neighbor, always cheerful and full of stories. Halfway through the evening, they excused themselves, saying they'd forgotten something important back at their house. They promised to return quickly, waving off offers to help. Nobody thought much of it until hours passed and they still hadn't come back. As the night grew colder, the atmosphere began to change. Some guests claimed they heard faint noises, soft rhythmic tapping that seemed to come from the neighbor's direction. Others thought they saw fleeting shadows near the windows of the empty house. Whispers of unease spread through the group, but nobody dared to investigate right away. The following day, a few neighbors decided to check in. They knocked on the door, but there was no response. The house was locked, and nothing appeared out of place except for a strange, faint smell lingering near the entrance. When they finally gained entry, what they found inside chilled them to the core. Holidays, like Thanksgiving, remind us of warmth, gratitude, and connection. But as these stories show, even the most joyful moments can take unexpected and terrifying turns. Sometimes what lurks in the shadows of celebration is more than just our imagination. What do you think? Are these tales just eerie coincidences, or is there something deeper? Something we can't quite explain? Let these stories be a reminder that the unknown can be closer than we think. If you enjoyed this video and want to hear more chilling stories, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe to Cursed Voices. Turn on notifications so you never miss the next tale that will keep you up at night. Thank you for watching, and stay safe, because you never know what's out there.